Have you ever wondered how your body actually knows what to do? How it wakes up, digests food, regulates your energy, balances your mood, all without you thinking about it? That's the incredible work of your endocrine system. It's the silent communicator that keeps your body in harmony. And when it's out of balance, everything can feel off. Today, we're diving deep into the biology of the endocrine system, what it is, how it works, and why it's one of the most important systems to understand if you want balanced hormones, steady energy, and vibrant health. So what is it? The endocrine system, it's one of the body's major control systems. It's responsible for communication between your cells, tissues, and organs, while your nervous system uses electrical signals to send quick messages. Your endocrine system, it uses chemical messengers called hormones. And they're not all on a quick speed, but these hormones are secreted by endocrine glands, and they travel through your bloodstream, delivering information to specific cells about what to do and when to do it. Think of it like a postal system. Imagine your endocrine gland as the sender of a letter. The hormone is the letter itself. The bloodstream is the postal service delivering the message. And the target cell is the person receiving the letter. So when the cell receives a message, it takes action, maybe speeding up metabolism, releasing energy, or helping you to go to sleep. Every hormone has a unique address, its own target tissue, and a specific receptor designed to read that message. It's kind of just like any good company. The endocrine system has a chain of command. At the top is your hypothalamus. Think of it as the CEO. It constantly receives feedback about how things are going in your body. And the CEO then sends messages to the pituitary gland, like the manager, telling it what needs more work or less work. And the pituitary in turn communicates with the workers, like your thyroid gland, adrenal glands, and reproductive organs, giving them the orders to speed up or slow down hormone production. And this constant feedback, it's a loop. It keeps everything in balance. It's a process called homeostasis. You might remember it from high school science class. But the endocrine system, it doesn't work alone. It's closely connected with your immune system and your nervous system. And that's why stress, illness, or even emotional strain can affect your hormones. And why balancing hormones, it often means supporting the whole body, not just one part. Now, there's different types of hormonal actions. Like I mentioned a second ago, hormones don't always travel at a particular speed or distance. They just go as far as they need to deliver their message. Sometimes they act right where they're made. So here's a quick breakdown. You've got the endocrine action, which are hormones that travel through the bloodstream to distant cells, and the paracrine action, which are hormones that act on nearby cells, the autocrine action, which is the cell that releases a hormone that actually affects itself, and the juxtacrine action, which is a hormone or hormones that act through direct contact between neighboring cells. It's like the body has multiple communication channels: long distance mail, neighborhood chat, self-talk, and even face-to-face conversation. So there are hormones and receptors, the lock and key. Every hormone and its receptor fits together perfectly, like a lock and key. But here's where things get tricky. Other substances that look like hormones can also fit into those receptors, even if they're imposters. These include phytoestrogens from certain plants or xenoestrogens from plastics and chemicals, and even synthetic hormones and medications like birth control. Sometimes these imposters activate receptors too strongly or too weakly, or they block them altogether, causing hormone confusion and imbalance. Now, not all hormones are built the same way, so let's discuss that. There are three main categories. You've got the peptide hormones, steroid hormones, and mRNA hormones. And let's break these down simply. Peptide hormones, they are made of long chains of amino acids, the building blocks of protein. They love water, but dislike fat, so they can't cross into a cell easily. Instead, they bind to receptors on the outside of the cell, triggering a chain reaction. Examples include insulin, leptin, glucagon, or oxytocin. And there's steroid hormones. These are fat-loving or lipophilic, which means they can pass right through the cell membrane. And once inside, they bind directly to DNA and tell your genes what to do. Examples include estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone. They're powerful, long-lasting messengers. And the mRNA hormones, these are made from single amino acids, the tiniest protein units, and they can behave like other peptide or steroid hormones depending on the specific type. So examples would include like adrenaline or thyroid hormones. So let's now talk about the key players, the glands that make up your endocrine system. Some of them are true endocrine organs like the thyroid or parathyroid glands, pineal gland, hypothalamus or pituitary gland, pancreas, ovaries and testes, or the adrenal glands. But other organs that we don't normally think of as endocrine also produce hormones like the liver, kidneys, uterus, stomach, the brain, the thymus. Your body is filled with hormone-producing tissues all working together to keep you in balance. This is why the orchestra analogy is so great. If you think of your hormones as musicians in a beautiful orchestra, each one has its own instrument. Each one, they each play their own part. And when they're in tune, they create harmony. Your metabolism hums, your mood stays stable, your body feels alive. But if one instrument plays out of tune, maybe stress throws off your cortisol or thyroid, the whole performance sounds off. That's what hormonal imbalance feels like. So now let's look at the hormones that most people think of first, your reproductive hormones. Even though we tend to label them as male or female, we all have them, just in different amounts. So let's go through the key ones. First is estrogen. It's a steroid hormone found in both men and women. It's responsible for the development of female secondary characteristics like breast development, hips, and the start of menstruation. And there are three types. You've got E2, which is the main form found or that's tested in blood work. And there's E1 and E3. Beyond reproduction, estrogen also supports bone density, heart health, brain function, and skin vitality. In women, it's produced mostly by the ovaries, but after menopause, the adrenal glands and fat tissue take over. Testosterone is produced mainly in the testes for men and in smaller amounts by the ovaries and adrenals in women. It's what drives physical development during male puberty, deepening the voice, building muscle, producing sperm. But women need testosterone too for energy, confidence, libido, and muscle tone. There's progesterone, which is another steroid hormone. It's a natural calm maker. It's produced by the ovaries after ovulation, specifically by the corpus luteum. Progesterone, it prepares the uterus for pregnancy, supports mood, balances estrogen, and helps you sleep. It also boosts thyroid function slightly, which is why your body temperature rises after ovulation. Now, if pregnancy occurs, progesterone continues to rise, supporting the uterine lining and preparing the breast for milk production. Now, there's also the luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH are both produced in the pituitary gland. They're peptide hormones, meaning they act on the surface of cells. FSH helps eggs and sperm mature, and LH triggers ovulation and supports testosterone production. These two work together like teammates, managing fertility, menstrual cycles, and reproductive function in both men and women. Now, hormonal changes for men, puberty begins around age 9 or later, but on average around then, when testosterone surges. That's when we see rapid growth, deeper voices, facial hair, and increased strength. But as men age, testosterone gradually declines, while estrogen can increase. This can lead to fatigue, mood changes, reduced muscle mass, and lower libido. Sometimes this I've heard referred to as menopause because men go through it too. Natural lifestyle changes, better nutrition, movement, and stress management, they can make a difference. Now, hormonal changes in women, puberty usually begins between 8 and 13 or so. And the first sign is breast development, followed by changes in the body shape and the start of menstruation. Women then experience roughly 4 decades of hormonal cycling from the first period until menopause. Now with the menstrual cycle, let's break that down simply. Day 1 of bleeding marks the start of a new cycle, the follicular phase. During this time, several eggs begin to mature under the influence of FSH and estrogen. And around day 14, one egg becomes dominant and a surge in LH triggers ovulation, the release of that mature egg. After ovulation, the luteal phase begins and progesterone rises, preparing the uterus for a possible pregnancy. Now, if fertilization doesn't occur, progesterone and estrogen drop. The uterine lining sheds and the cycle begins again. Excuse me. Now with menopause, as women age and reach their late 40s and early 50s, the ovaries naturally slow down hormone production. This transition is called perimenopause, leading up to menopause, which is officially marked by 12 months without a period. During this time, estrogen and progesterone fluctuate dramatically, causing symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, and sleep changes. But once the body adjusts, many women find a new sense of balance and freedom. No more cycles and a more stable mood overall. The adrenal glands and fat tissue take over low-level hormone production, showing again how interconnected the body truly is. So the big picture, when you look at this all together, the glands, the hormones, the feedback loops, it's easy to see that the endocrine system is like an elegant symphony. Every instrument matters. Every signal counts. And when one part falls out of tune, it affects the whole body. But the beauty is, with awareness, nourishment, and care, you can help your body restore harmony. You really can. Your hormones aren't random. They're intelligent messengers working every second to keep you alive, balanced, and thriving. The more you understand the endocrine system, the more empowered you become to work with your body instead of against it. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe and share it with any other woman you know who's ready to understand her body on a deeper level. Remember, your body isn't broken. It's brilliant. It just needs the right support to shine.